Good afternoon everybody, welcome back to Marrick's Koi Pond. Monday after the storm Amy, after the weekend when we had all them storms. We survived it. I wasn't expecting it down this way, I thought it was up north, but God, we had some strong winds. I was a little bit worried about this pergola, that polycarbonate top, although it's bolted on there. Get a couple of gusts of wind under there, it still just lifts it and bangs it on top of those joists. But anyway, no damage. And all down the bottom of the gardens we've got these big giant oak trees, they're absolutely massive. And God, were they bending and shaking in the wind. But can't see any damage. Fish are doing well. I've just reduced the pond pump speed and I've reduced the air source heat pump, taking the air source heat pump down to 16, which means it switches off at 16.5. I think he was running at 17.5 or 18 degrees, can't remember now. And turn the pond pump speed down because there's not so much food, reduce the food going in here. So that will save some pennies over the winter. I shall probably run that air source if I can, depending on the temperatures, ambient temperatures, probably run that to the end of the month and switch that off for the winter. But what I wanted to talk about was the colours on these fish. They're really popping, you know. Back in August I ran out of colour food and I didn't really want to spend a load of money buying another bag of colour foods late in the season, so I bought a 100-gram bag of spirulina at the supermarket, mixed it with 15 kilos of growth food in my food bin that I keep in the shed, and obviously I filled this hopper up with it. Anyway, it's done brilliant I reckon, but the only downside is it does colour the water. It's like turns it into like a green soup. Couldn't see me fish for 3 or 4 weeks until I'd done the 15 kilo bag of food. Anyway, the water's cleared now, it's literally crystal clear, and these fish are popping, the colours are just popping. Now, I don't know if that's a placebo effect, because obviously I haven't seen the fish for 3 or 4 weeks. Well, not properly anyway, only when they're on the surface. And now that the pond's clear and they're just popping, I'm not sure if it's, like I say, the placebo effect, because I hadn't seen the fish properly for 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, there has been a bag of colour food in here during the season as well. And I appreciate that there's obviously other ingredients in that colour food, you know, different pigments, and plus the fact that it's a growth food as well. But you know, if I can save myself 2 bags of buying that next season, that's like 500 quid I've saved. So, but what I will do, I should learn. I mean, I used to do it years ago, but completely forgot all about it. But I should do the same again. I should buy that spirulina powder and put that in here in early spring, just as the fish are waking up. And again, do it in sort of September, or even maybe this time of year, into October, do it again. Now, I suppose you could say just turn your UV off and let it go green naturally, but that's all right. But algae's a living thing, you know, consumes and eats oxygen, you know, puts out carbon monoxide and vice versa. You know, can affect your water parameters. With that spirulina, it's not, you know. You know, and if you're not taking it off the food, they're ingesting it through their gills, and obviously it's going through their internal gut, you know, this green water. So I shall do that. I shall follow that regime next spring and summer, save myself some money. but also they've had like 10 whole watermelons gone in here this season. Now I know it's only made up of water, but you've still got that pink, that red pigment, you know, that they're ingesting, so I think that helps. Literally got to have been 10 whole watermelons gone in here. What else have I been doing? I've been tidying up the garden. Giving a Chinese paper bush a prune. Hostas are starting going over now. Leaves on the aces have started turning. But we've still got flowers, still flowers. Got to get my ladder out. I just love this tree, you know. In spring, early spring, this is just full of blossom. You come out here, you know, after dark winter, and it just lifts your spirit seeing all this covered in blossom. But I've got to get my ladders out. I've got a big branch hanging over there I need to chop off. And I've got a couple of loose stray branches over there, just needs tidying up. So that's a job to be done. This ace has started changing colour. In springtime the leaves on here is like a real deep magenta red, really velvet red. Really is a picture for about 3 weeks. Black pine bonsai. We still have got some colour in the garden. Chinese elm bonsai. Japanese maple. Got a couple of little goldfish in here. I was thinking about putting a couple of tamasaba in there, but I'll have to do some research. Not sure if it'll be cruel for them. Not sure if it's not too deep, you know, not deep enough for them. But I'll look that up. I'll do some research. Barbecues all parked up and put away for the winter. This little dahlia, you know, on this step here, when we're inside, like, looks a picture sitting on that step. Hello. You know what, it's 18 degrees here today, and there's some heat in that sun. Ugh. I don't know what this is all about. This is Liz. Every time she goes out in the field, you know, she comes back with this clover. And she's planted it, trying to grow some fall leaf clovers. And to be fair to her, she has grown 3 or 4 of them. And then she takes them off and dries them. I said to her, next time you grow one, you need to do the lottery. Another Japanese maple. Can't remember what this is called with this blue flower. Can't remember what that's called for the life of me. These are done well, you know. They're just like plastic pouches you fill up with compost and you plant them up. There's 3 or 4 different varieties of plant in there, and we've had brilliant colour off of these all spring and summer. Korean hornbeam. Ooh, nice lanterns. These fish are so tame, you know. Every time they see you, they come swimming across. I'm not sure if that's because the pond is so close to the house, like, you know. Every time I come out here, they even recognise the sound of the handle now, the door handle. Been tidying up the borders. Still got some colour here. Pair of swans coming into land. Planted some mint there in a pot because it's pretty invasive, so it's been planted in a pot, and I've done that all around this filter house. Keep these rats at bay. They don't like it up them, you know. Another little area in between my main shed and my filter house. So I hang my bowls are out the sunshine there, so they're not affected by UV. I made that mistake. Can't remember. I think I used to have them hanging on there in that sunshine. They just go brittle. Well, not the glass fibre ones, but the blue plastic ones. They just go brittle. We pick them up, they just they just fall apart on you. Got some ferns in here. I think that's a Japanese holly fern. Got a tongue fern. Mind your own business. Little tiny acer in that pot there. Got a guard dog. Woof. This is what we call our second garden. This has still got some flowers in here. Not sure what that's called, but it's very pretty, very dainty. I think they call that what do they call that? Is it not euphorbia? Is it euphorbia? New Zealand flax, I think is the common name for it. This is what we call our acer bed. We've got 3 or 4 acers in here, different varieties. And then this is Lizzie's domain. You've got chickens, bantams. I think she's got 5 tortoises in that greenhouse. No glass in it. She's wrapped it all up, protect it for the winter. Wind turbine spinning in the wind there, look. And like I say, all those oak trees at the weekend, cool, were they bending and shaking. And then, I'm not going to go through here because it's a bit muddy with all that rain we've had over the weekend, but then, just beyond that wooden shed there is what we call our third garden. And then that third garden is mostly laid to lawn, a little bit of a vegetable patch, although for the last couple of years been neglected it. And that takes us right down to those bottom of those oak trees. We'll have a little walk inside the Filterhouse. Tidied this up. This is all tidied up. All sorted for the winter. Don't forget, people that's not, please subscribe to the channel. My upflow filter. My ozone unit. Recyclable RO system. I'll tell you what, it's amazing what you can squeeze into a 7x6 shed. God, it's so tight in here, but I've got room for a chair, look, got room for a stool. Power station, expansion battery. Any power cuts I'm sorted. That's the inverter for the 2 solar panels I got in the shed roof. Just a little bit of a supplement to top up my solar panels on my house roof. That's my ozone monitor. 336 millivolts, absolutely spot on, that is. Absolutely perfection. As long as that's between 300 and 350, I'm happy. And what a difference that's made to this water, you know. Forget about the clarity, I mean it's absolutely crystal. I've never had water like that, even with the recyclable RO. The water has never been as clear and as crystal as it is now. This ozone's tremendous, but there's loads of other benefits to this ozone, you know. I mean, this pond was filled up with brand spanking new tap water in April, and I was expecting a whole world of trouble through the spring and the summer with this pond being new water, you know. Decent sized fish. You know what, there's not been one chemical gone in this pond. Not one chemical. I'll tell a lie, the only chemical that's gone in here is I did salt it. When I first filled it up with water, I salted it to 0.3. But apart from that, there's been nothing. No PP, no FMG, no aquaflavin, no Alpha-X, absolutely not a single chemical's gone on this pond. Now normally, I'm dosing, you know, at least 3 or 4 times a year. Yeah, you dose the pond, the fish all become good, and then a month later they started playing up again, flicking, flashing, scraping, you know, so you have to dose it again. You know, it costs a fortune in chemicals. Like I say, not a single chemical's gone in this pond. Right, go back in the daylight, shall we? Right, I think I'm going to leave it there, everybody. Thank you for watching, I do appreciate it. And please remember to hit that like thumb and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Thank you. Bye.